they were kind of taking this whole conscious thing to another level because they wasn't as hard hitting as KRS-One, but at the same, and then they had daisies, flowers. It was like, how do you what do you put them in? And so, Dwayne, what was up with that? Especially when they first made that first album, they had all the daisies, the pink.
Yep. So they were doing the neon and everything else like that. So let's take a few different pieces. So what I'll start with, I'm going to talk about how I ever came to know De La Soul. I'll make this quickly. So I have a buddy, Emerson. We're still good friends to this day. We were juniors in high school, or actually this was the start of our senior year. His sister was out in New York. She went to school at Pratt. And what he would do is listen to Red Alert show on Saturday night. He'd record them, and then he'd bring them back to us. So I had one, I was listening to it, and this drop comes in. Yo, Pasa Dove, stand clear to be plugged into lines 1 and 2 so we can flaunt that new style of speed. I said, what? So you kind of hear his plug tuning going back and forth, whatever. So at that time, you didn't necessarily, you couldn't Google it, right? This is like the thing we always talk about. You couldn't just go Google the lyrics. So I used to kind of spend time in the record stores here and there. At that point I was driving, I could do some different things. So I'd look through all kinds of compilation albums. And so finally I found the song. It was on some type of compilation album. I was at Fairlane Mall. At the time, my cousin Will, the guy across the street from him worked at a record store in the mall at Northland. So I started going every week, hey, do you have this De La Soul? I'm reading about them. When is the album coming out? When is the album? I'm talking about it everywhere I'm going. So Yo MTV Raps during that Christmas time, they come on, there's an episode, and De La Soul is on there, and they're doing Potholes in My Lawn. So during that Christmas break, people are saying, Denver, that group that you've been talking about, they have this video. Now, we didn't have cable at our house. So somebody at recording is like, here, you got to check this video. It's like nothing you've ever seen. So from between Christmas and March of '89, I'm going into the record store every Tuesday. Do you have that De La Soul? Do you have that De La Soul? Finally, one day he calls me, Dave. His name happened to be Dave. He says, hey, man, he said, I got this De La Soul finally that you've been asking me about. So I come in, listen to the whole thing, and my mind is just blown. I've never heard anything like this before.